Hey Pony Pals, it's Emma, Courtney, and Kenzie from Paint Pony Studios, and it's that time of year again. It's BreyerFest predictions time, and we're
Yay.
so excited. Courtney and Kenzie have done the impossible basically and put together their BreyerFest predictions. I read through the list briefly, but I did not actually like dedicate any time to actually looking at it. So I appreciate all of the hard work that you guys put in this. I really do. And I hope that everybody watching as well enjoys our what you guys have come up with. We thought that we would go on a little trail ride up to Redwoods while we talked. So why don't we go ahead and start moving, and we'll talk about the raffle models. So you guys, the first thing that you have on this barely readable Google Doc is Fireheart in an extreme black Sabino. Now, last year we thought Fireheart was going to be a raffle model, and we were wrong. They didn't do that. And I know
last year it wasn't an actual raffle.
That's true. Yeah, like we did talk about that the other day. Is like,
right,
you know, because of the online constraints, they really couldn't have like super duper expensive horses because everybody could enter the raffle. It wasn't a pay to play game like it normally is. So with this year it being in person, I do think that it's that it would be. I do think that it'd be possible, if not extremely likely, that Fireheart would be a raffle model. Either him or I see you have Astrid on there too in a glossy leopard appy. Let me raise you. This one is, and this one's not on the list. What's the name of the new Ebril Arab that we're getting?
Oh, like, I don't know. I just
Zafira? Is it Zafira?
I think that's right.
Okay. I have a feeling that we'll probably be seeing her as a raffle model. So my thought is that it's probably going to be her as one like a black Rabicano or like some kind of crazy Rabicano pattern, and then either Fireheart or Astrid as another raffle. Because I have a feeling that with them using Troubadour as a special run last year, that they probably won't do him as a raffle this year. But I'm not 100% sure, and it's hard to base anything off of last year because of the circumstances, you know?
Yeah.
Right, I think we definitely were considering her.
These three specifically because we don't know if they'll have the other Premier Club models in hand, because we just got Astrid and we haven't gotten the other set yet. So that's why we were kind of like, okay, well, we don't know if they'll have that in time, so would they just play it safe and go with one of the older molds they've done?
That is a really good point, though.
Because they did miss like a whole year worth of the newer molds, so it would make sense that they would use them, I guess.
Yeah. No, I can 100% see where you guys are coming from on that. I didn't even think about that. Like, we get so wrapped up in patterns, you know, that it's sometimes when you have to actually sit back and go, oh, yeah, that's right. We're still in the middle of a pandemic and there's like a supply chain shortage. Yeah.
Nothing is normal.
Yeah, nothing is normal. No. But I do really like the ideas that you have for all three, like Fireheart as a extreme Sabino. Actually, technically, you could have all three of those because there is an early bird raffle.
That is true. I did not think about that one.
Right. So
usually the early bird raffle is like kind of a simple color, though.
Yeah, it's a vintage. Sometimes it's like a vintage kind of a thing too.
Yeah.
Right.
But that is a possibility. Is that like something, something with a color along those lines, even the black Sabino, the bay Pentelusa, or like some kind of leopard appy, would make a really good early bird model, but it would probably, if not very likely, be on something older.
Right,
Well, in
for sure.
2018, they had it on the saddlebred, but they also used the saddlebred for banner. So I didn't even want to touch that as far as predictions go.
Yeah.
That's a good point as well. Hey guys, I think I know where we can go. Is let's go to Gary Goldtooth's. He's got a campsite. Yeah. Pre-recording this video, we spent probably about 20 minutes looking for a campsite to have this video at. Figured out that we really don't know where a whole lot of campsites are located, and then decided let's trail ride instead until we find somewhere to go. So we're just straight vibing. It's a good day. It's a good day. So were you guys going with like any leopard Appaloosa color for Astrid, or did you have something specific in mind? Because I know there's that one image of that fjord that goes around a lot. The Appy Fjord.
You talking the Grua one or the Bay one?
The Grua one.
Okay, so I was thinking, since they already kind of did that color on Astrid, they would go just a black leopard appy. I had found a really cute reference picture for one, so I kind of hope they do it like that. But
ooh, nice. The one thing I'll say is that, as far as like our predictions last year, is we got really, really close on like colors, but we didn't really get the molds, which is kind of funny because you'd think it would be the other way. Like we almost got Pollock correct. We were close. I kind of wish that it would have been a little closer to what we had come up with, but it was still cool.
Didn't what you come up with match the surprise deco anyway?
Yeah, other than the mold, because I had it on silver. Actually, though, going back to that, is the design that we had for the video doesn't look much like the surprise deco, but the horse of a different color sticker that I made for BreyerFest is almost identical.
Oh, maybe I was thinking of
that. I took us the wrong way. Happy log, everyone.
Oh boy.
Anyway, that's okay. We're just vibing. Day after end of the world trail ride. We're just living our best lives. Okay. Right, let's go on to the special runs then. So you guys have Totilas for the surprise. And I don't know whether I want to smack you or be like, yes, do it. Because I feel like I'd be after all of them.
Right.
Because it's been a while since they've done, I mean, not that long, because they did put out Adia HP in 2020. But I don't think that necessarily has any bearing on like BreyerFest special runs.
A bunch of the special runs last year were also regular runs.
Right, exactly. So as long as it's like a different color scheme from Adia, I think we'd be okay. Which I could totally see them using Totilas and then being like, it's, oh no, I'm not going to be able to sit down because I have the user interface turned off. That's fine. We can do it. I will turn it back on. There we go. I will sit. Excellent. Oh, well, that makes it look like I'm sitting here on my own. So we're just going to not do that. We're going to do this. And hope that my camera stays there. Well, hi. We can't all sit on the same bench, can we?
No.
Yes, we can.
Wait, we can?
No.
Courtney, no. Courtney, no. Courtney, no.
Okay, I go back to my bench.
I want all of you in here, but I can't. We'll have to do this. This will be fine. I really wish that I could turn off my wait. Oh, I can. Oh, I can. Happy day. Okay. Yay. All right. Here we are. Beautiful. And I'll just move my mouse off to the side and I can kick back and relax with my good old iPad list here. Okay. So, colors that you have for the surprise for Totilas. A bay blanket Appy, a gray Tobiano, buckskin Sabino, and a dark blue Rowan. Well, that just feels like a Courtney wish list. That just feels like a Courtney's greatest hits list. Like,
yeah, it kind of is.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
There was some thought behind it, okay?
Well,
we put some effort.
Well, yeah. I mean, because normally there's always
like bay Tobianos on that mold, so I was like, all right, we're just gonna put that to the side.
Right. And then normally their kind of pattern is we have to have an Appy, we have to have like 2 different kinds of Pintos, and then we have to have a solid color. But the thing that you guys are missing is a deco.
So we had thought about
it doesn't
that before,
have to be a deco.
And
you're
we
right.
did look into that. And Kenzie had looked at all the years they've done countries before, and I don't think there wasn't any deco surprise mold models.
Really?
And we couldn't come up with anything for a deco surprise, so we just left it off the list.
Well, that's interesting. I never thought about that. If there were other like trying to match up the countries with whether or not their surprises have. And actually, just not that I don't believe you, but I want to see it for myself. So I'm pulling up Identify Your Breyer really quick. Because I do believe you, but in my brain, I'm like, that doesn't seem right. You know what I mean?
I know. It was wild.
Okay, so 2012, there was no surprise in 2012, was there? Yes, there was. That's the British year. And look at that. No deco. Okay. Denim and Diamonds doesn't count, but there was also no deco in that one. 2015 was France. And would you look at that? No deco. 2016, I think there was, though, because it was Carnival. Yeah, because it was. So that one, but also that was not specifically Brazil. That was to go with like the Olympics. So okay. All right. Okay. India. And once again, no deco. So and Ireland in 2020 had no deco. Because that was the Giselle.
Right.
And there was no deco Giselle. Interesting. So that ooh, man, you guys are starting some conspiracy theories here. But also I think that's like a really good like range of colors as well for a surprise. Like you got your bay, you got your gray.
Things that weren't too close to what already exists, because we didn't want to do a like leopard Appy when Rialto's a thing.
Right. Yeah. All right. Next, Mare and Foal set. You think they're going to use Firefly and Hawkeye? And
they don't really have any other options.
And see, you guys have Bay Tobiano. I think they're going to do them in a solid color because the initial release is like wild. Like, it's hard to gauge though because
every Mare and Foal set except Stage Mom and Child Star has been patterned.
Oh, Mamacita and Chico weren't.
Oh, that's
they were
true.
Bay. They were Bay. And on brand new molds as well.
Right.
Yeah, because that's what they did with the Welsh Mare and Foal the year after. They they put it on Bridget and Beltane.
Yep.
As
in Pintos. Yep. But see, their initial release was fairly
Super flashy.
solid colored. Yeah, not flashy. So I'm thinking
Right.
that because Firefly and Hawkeye are flashy, I mean, you're talking like extensive roan Sabino, and even the baby is Sabino, that
Mhm.
maybe it'll be something like that has chrome, but that's kind of dialed back.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Personally, I would kind of like to see like a gray mom and a black baby, you know, like a black going gray
Kenzie
baby.
literally said that last night.
Yeah,
too.
that like, but
That's
one
what I
that
was thinking,
has,
but then I was like, is it too close to Sage Mom and Child Star that they
but
wouldn't do it again? I don't
one
know.
that has the like the goggles,
That would be really cute.
you know, because like Child Star is just going to grow up to be a black horse because
Mhm.
he doesn't have those baby goggles unless he's past that point. I don't know what age that mold is supposed to be, but typically when they're little and they're going to go gray, they get the loss of pigment around their
Right. Yep.
eyes. This is interesting. For the deco, you guys have Bluegrass Bandit.
Yeah.
Were you looking at like models that currently have clear wear?
Yep.
Yeah. That would be a really kind of a neat deco. And also like for anybody that's kind of thinking to themselves right now, like, well, why for a German BreyerFest would you have a Tennessee walking horse, blah blah blah. That does not matter. Like the people that design these models have come out and said time and time again that the names and potentially the color schemes have to do with the country or the theme, but the models, like the molds themselves, will not necessarily be all German breeds. So I do think that Bluegrass Bandit, while she's not the most popular, the deco mold is not often the most popular thing either.
Mhm.
I mean, look at all the times they've done like I mean, for like you guys have like banner on there as an example, and that saddlebred is not the most popular mold.
No, but that model ended up being super popular.
Yeah, and then like Namaste back in 2017, that was on like the Rejoice mold, and 2018 it was
Flash.
It was Flash, yeah, and that's not super popular. 2019 was Banner, and then last year wasn't even really a deco. Like I wouldn't consider Boudica a deco. Boudica was like a rose gray horse, a chestnut going gray horse with paint on it. You know, so that's, to me, that's not a deco. I mean, it's the same thing like we just did with San Fernando for the Stone Company is, look, here's a real horse that has like, oh, you can dye a horse's mane. So it's not a deco.
Right.
But I do think that would be really cool, like really pretty to have a deco in like red, yellow, and black. I think they could do that fairly easily too.
Yeah.
I said Bluegrass Bandit just because she hasn't been used for BreyerFest in a while.
Well,
and
that's
she
what
has
I
been
was thinking
clearwear.
too.
But there's nothing really stopping them from tossing out a mold in clearwear that hasn't been clearwear before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're 100%
which is a little
right.
scary.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, you guys have Hamburger. I don't know what mold you're referring to.
Hamilton.
Oh god. I was like, are they talking about a cow? Like Hamburger? Like
No.
No.
Hamburger. Okay, so what colors have we done on Hamilton? There's a champagne, black, and then Bay Tobiano, Palomino, and chestnut.
Yep.
Here's a thought. I do see you guys have this down under custom contest, and this is why I'm thinking that maybe there won't be a Hammy special run, because I could very easily see them doing a black Tobiano Hamilton, like the original pattern for the custom contest.
We heavily considered that too.
So I don't want to like scrap the idea of him as an SR completely, because I feel like the customs contest is kind of like a crapshoot.
Yeah, that's valid.
I mean, look what they did, last year, is they just went and did Emerson, which was from so long ago now, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not that long,
5
but
years.
It doesn't fall into the pattern, right? But I don't know. Hamilton would be a really good choice for a special run, though, because it's so popular. Like, they'd sell out completely.
Yeah, I just feel like it's due to be one. Like,
yeah,
they're gonna want to eventually.
Well, we thought they were gonna do that last year. You know, we had Hammy on there last year in like a liver chestnut something.
Yep.
Some kind of Sabino. But I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe it would be some kind of like solid color that we haven't seen before. Like, what if they do like a bay with a lot of chrome, like a nice dapple bay, and that could easily be a glossy split. But that would be kind of interesting. Idicus with the mane and tail split. That's a good one. That is a good one.
We just went through every model and was like, what can have a different mane and tail? And that's the best one we could find.
Right. With the mane and tail split, in a glossy, chromy, dappled chestnut with a blaze. That would be a really fun one. That really would.
Yeah.
Like the same color as Tassely, kind of a chestnut.
We were thinking like Acadia type vibe.
Oh, see, I'd add more metallic to him than that. I'd go somewhere between Tassely and Acadia.
Yep, that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like maybe almost
really nice.
Almost Redmond colored, but more gold. More gold. Because on like the flashy red chestnuts like that, even though that color is super hard to get right, they're still really popular. So I think that would be a really good choice, especially on an Idicus. Like, I might even spring for an Idicus if if it was the braided one. I'd have to go with the braided one though.
Same.
Yeah. The mountain goat for the other animal.
Yeah, so the little thing we've got tagged next to that.
Yeah.
Which is pronounced chamois, by the way.
Chamois.
It's really cute, and it would work on the mountain goat. So, found it.
I'm going to look it up really quick. Oh, that is really cute. I'll see if I can go in and like, I may put mock-ups in our kind of, essentially this is our yearly BreyerFest podcast, really. But that is a really cute design. It's kind of just like a black brown goat with like the white striping on its face. And it's really cute. And you're right, that would work on the mountain goat.
Just a little guy.
Just a little guy. Yeah. Oh my god. He's so cute. Bubble butt for the vintage.
Yup.
We were struggling, man.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna go back to identify your Breyer. Like I've Bubble butt would be a really good choice, but I feel like they haven't used it in so long that it might be kind of like
Well,
oh my god.
Josiah on it recently.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that was the Vintage Club Wedgwood Overo.
I guess I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the Vintage Club.
Well, I only know what it is because Audrey got one, and I was like, "Oh, that's cute."
Oh, okay, yeah. You know what other one? You guys are probably gonna like hate me. Is like the Morgan Glands mold.
I have that under diorama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Or Roamer. Yeah, I see that.
I feel like those might be crusty enough to the point where they wouldn't be used as a special run, but might be a diorama model.
Yeah, you might be right.
I mean.
I do know what you mean.
Like, I think they're a little too vintage to be a good special run.
You know what I really want to see, like what mold I really want to see still is I want to see Bolia or Hala back in use.
Those are nice for vintages.
That's like the one vintage mold that I'm like, done in the right way, I think would be really, really cute.
The mock-up you did of that last time was really nice.
Yeah, it was like a weird Sabino. Oh no, it was that Mankato color. We had thought like maybe they'll do like a weird Mankato on it, because really they haven't used Hala since 2011. Which was Dusty, and that was a BreyerFest store special. So I don't know, like that one might be too far-fetched as far as like popularity. Like maybe it's not one of those vintage molds that's popular. Now this one could go either way too, is that Brighty is still technically considered a vintage mold.
Yeah.
So
we just didn't know if they would do another animal and
a donkey. Yeah.
I don't think they would. I think long ears are going to count as other animals for most people.
Right. No, you guys are probably right on that.
But we did only list 8 special runs, and there's been 9 the last 2 years. So.
Oh, what was Salinero is the other one that like maybe they could slip in somewhere if you're trying to like.
Well, we were thinking that might end up being a store special, because we put a lot of thought into the fact that there might not be many German breeds they can actually get here other than warm bloods,
right?
So
yeah,
we're like, I guess we got to save some warm blood molds for store specials.
And then back to kind of going back to special runs is Wixom or Shenandoah as a draft, and in parentheses it says make someone else decide, we dying. Oh man, I don't know.
That they used Shenandoah in 2020, but at the same time, like, it's still a really nice draft mold, and there's not too many of those. So
I know, but they also he's already been a special run in 2017.
What was it?
It was a Roan Pinto.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Bahala.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So Vahana, yes. So I'm gonna say that one's probably out. Oh man, yeah, that's rough though. As far as like thinking about, having to have like a draft as a part of the lineup, because they've already used Gorg, they've already used Shenandoah. We had Vermeer last year, even though he's not really a draft. Goffert was back in 2010, so I feel like he might be.
We used the celebration model in 2014.
Right.
So that's why we kind of just slipped it into store specials as well.
Yeah, that one could be a store special. Was Brishin ever a special run?
He was a store special in 2020.
Yes, he was. I'm just thinking that maybe if they're looking for something drafty that hasn't actually been a special, like a special run.
Yeah.
Because they also did use Othello just recently. That Brishin would be a good way to go. Because that's a mold that they've been using a lot recently. And I think that maybe they might put that into their BreyerFest lineup.
Kenzie had brought up last night that the store specials when they were doing years that were countries or themed similarly, that the store specials didn't necessarily match the theme either.
Right.
So
well,
that's
because like India, they couldn't get Marwaris here other than the celebration horse. So how, how you can't really like do that. But I'm trying to think of like horses that are German horse breeds.
There's not a lot other than ponies and warmbloods, so we were struggling.
Yes. I don't know. I feel like I could see them trying to turn something into a Black Forest horse.
Yeah.
I
just didn't know what mold they would use for that.
I know.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking.
There's
nothing like that fits it.
Back in the good old day of 2011, 10 years ago, when the BreyerFest special runs were not all traditional special runs, they did a classic set of the classic Hoflinger Mare and foal as Black Forest horses.
Yep.
And that was pretty cool. But other than those, I don't know exactly what would fit that body type because they don't have a lot of feathers. They have a lot of hair, but they don't have a lot of feathers.
Unless they took Astrid and gave her a long mane.
But she's also very small.
Yeah.
Like too small to be a Black Forest horse because they are like drafty size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they use something like Bubble Butt or even like I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there might be a George store special, whether or not it's an actual German breed, but there is like a bunch of German drafters that could fit his body type.
Yeah.
We
just didn't know because he's been used a lot recently. 2020, he was a special run, and then they just did the deco on him, and he's the collector club model, and they did the regular run this year. So that's a lot.
Yeah. I know, it's really like when they start putting out a lot of releases on a popular mold, it's really hard to gauge like what like okay, how much are you actually going to use it? Are they really just like going ham and they're just going to put it everywhere because it's making them money? Or, so like I don't know. It's hard to that kind of thing is hard to say because we can go off of like, oh, these are what's really popular right now. This is what's super hot. But man, it's hard to gauge when they're using it literally everywhere.
Yeah. And then I know we had talked about possible colors for draft, and Kenzie and I both really want to see a black Shire with a ton of chrome on Shenandoah.
Oh yeah.
They haven't really.
Guys, I had a thought. It's probably not the right thought, but how big is Fireheart actually? Because I haven't
Okay, Fireheart is huge.
Like, can he be a draft? Because could he technically pass as a Black Forest horse if they just decided, make him a special run?
See, I don't know.
Everyone? But he's got hair, a decent amount.
Huge.
I just wanna read you guys this. There was while we were talking about this, I'm friends with Heather Polio on Facebook, and I love seeing like some of her like hobby vague posting stuff because it just makes me feel good. And this one was this kind of hits the nail on the head here is like everyone knows how accurately the SRs are related to the BreyerFest theme every year. Gateway to India, all native breeds, British theme, just ponies, denim and diamonds, all quarter horses, paints, and appies. Off to the races, every SR is a bay thoroughbred. Wait, is that not right? oh, it's the limited runs that are portraits related to the theme, not the special runs? Huh. Those are usually only tie-in by name, and the breeds and colors are made to appeal to a wider audience than the general theme? Well, then that's weird. And it's like, man, she's so right, because there's no way that from a marketing standpoint that you could feasibly be like, well, all of our special runs are going to be limited to the theme and only the theme as far as like their body type.
Right, for sure.
Which makes it really hard for us to predict anything. But I think, for them, like and I am saying this as like from a perspective of having to come up with models for an event, is it's hard to like stay on theme while only using breeds that are like specific to a given whatever. It's like we did a mini Oktoberfest kind of an event for Stone this year. And, we did a Hanoverian, but we used our Andalusian mold, which, okay, might not be the most accurate thing. However, when you slap a braided mane and tail on it, it doesn't make it look super cresty. And, okay, maybe it could work as a Hanoverian. We took a Palouse, turned it into a Tricaner, because to me, the Palouse looks like it could be a Tricaner. I owned one. She looked identical to like that model. We used the Pebbles Draft as a Black Forest horse. So it's really finicky. Like Breyer probably could do it, but based on previous years and based on that post from Heather, which it's not like I want everybody to be reading into everything Heather's ever said. That's not the point here. The point is that everybody going off about, well, I'm disappointed that the special runs aren't explicitly related to the BreyerFest theme. Like, okay, get off of the high horse that you climbed all the way up onto. It's okay.
They would say that, but then there would be so many themes where they wouldn't like a single horse and they would be angry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. But honestly, even with them not exactly following the theme with like breeds and everything, there's been several years that I don't like any special run, whether it has to do with the theme or not. It's just not my thing. And I really, really wish that people would stop complaining that, oh my goodness, there's nothing at BreyerFest that I like. Travesty. Make everything for me. Like, no.
Yeah. We really tried to come up with colors that had a range, but what we like is very specific.
Oh, I know. And even looking at the previous videos like this that we've done is, everything we've talked about in some way is related to our personal tastes and what we would like to see specifically. So half the fun of making these videos is not being like, oh man, I was right. It's the, oh man, I was right, but it also fits in exactly with my tastes.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think
if I was in charge of BreyerFest, this is what I would do.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is what, if I was led in to this event planning thing, like, how would I take it? How would I look at it? And what could I do that would appeal to the widest audience possible? That's when you're trying to sell products, that's what you're after, is how can we make it so that everything sells out during the event? How can I make the company the most money possible? And we I'm really glad that we don't have to talk about the single day stablemates, that we don't have to predict the single day stablemates, because I think like I would have been 100% wrong across the board. Like there's no deco in there this year. The only mold that I can say for sure that I probably would have gotten right is the Albie, because you can't tell me that they're just not going to use Albie in the single day lineup when they haven't yet. I don't think. I think they were kind of waiting for an in-person year to do that.
Yeah,
because he did come out rather recently that he, wouldn't have been, oh no, I'm getting a network error. No, oh no, I've been away from my game. The single day stablemates, I do really like them this year. My mom and I are kind of at a point where, depending on the first couple special runs that we see, because we do like the single day horses, and I'm thinking that I'll probably like a good number of special runs, and if I don't, it's easy enough to sell them. Same with the limited runs. We're almost on the fence about doing a VIP ticket this year. I think that it might be worth doing just for the ability to pre-select horses alone this year, because I tell you what, I really don't want to go back to the days of having to wait in a line in the heat at BreyerFest.
Man, that's so much fun, Emma.
I don't mind that too much, but
I guess I'm not so against it. However, here's what I don't like that has been happening increasingly is when you're at the back of that line and they sell out, then you've waited for an hour and a half to get up there and there's nothing for you.
Yeah.
They should not be selling out at all.
That's the part that I'm like, okay, I would like to at least pre-select like we did this past year, is put in our preferences
and then wait
and
for it.
and there's got to be a way that either they tell us what special runs we're going to get before we get down there, and we go and the line is for you to come and pick them up at a specific time. So like you still have to pick a ticket time, but it's going to be one of those things where you walk up and maybe you have like, if they send you a ticket, or honestly what I would do is have them generate some kind of QR code. Is you go up to the line, you scan your phone, and they're like, oh, it looks like you get this, 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 and this. And then you pick them up and you go pay for them. Or maybe you pay for them online ahead of time. Like, as long as you have purchased the ticket, like, it's not really online purchasing, because you have to pick them up. Like, you have to physically go to BreyerFest and pick them up. And honestly, that kind of thing would also be really, like, it would make things easier for people who maybe bought a ticket, can't go, but are having a pickup person. Because if you get the little notification, like, on your phone, like, but just hear me out. If you get the notification on your phone that, like, ding, your models are ready to go, can't you send your pickup person a picture of that QR code for them to scan?
Screenshot or whatever?
Yeah. So it could also be easier on the pickup person, but obviously that kind of thing is not Breyer's concern,
Right.
But it would be nice to at least have the horses pre-selected before you go down there. And that's coming from a place of, I have been at the end of the line in 2018, 2019, and things were sold out. and I felt like I wasted my time standing there. But that also is something that comes with conventions. So I'm, as nice as it would be, I can understand if it's not the most realistic thing, but that's just me. Anything you guys want to add last minute before we wrap this up?
I think for Wixom, I would want to see kind of like a Belgian style Palomino.
That would be an interesting special run. See, they just did Brunhild though.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then volunteer model, we were kind of just like, select random horse, and we
went with Latigo.
Picked Latigo because they can pretty much do any color on that, and people aren't gonna complain. So
yeah.
And
actually, I think
contest?
Oh yeah, customs contest. We already talked about the Black Hamilton.
Yeah.
Black Carrick would be really cool, honestly. I would like Black Carrick. That would be neat. You know what other thing would be kind of interesting is a bay going gray Appaloosa for Mare.
That's interesting.
Because technically they could still use him.
Yeah. So I think what we had kind of figured out was that they did the bay color swap for 4 years, and this is going to be the 4th year of doing black if they decide to do black.
Oh, that's interesting.
But they always picked horses with patterns,
right,
for it.
Right.
So it was trying to find things that have patterns they could do.
What about Black Firefly and Hawkeye? Or is that's probably too...
I feel like we're kind of confident in our guess of that as the Mare and foal set.
No, I agree. I'm just trying to think of Premier Club horses.
Right.
You know? Because they're not going to use, like, George. There's no pattern.
They could do Black Fireheart.
Oh, they could do Black Fireheart. Mm-hmm. That would be interesting.
If they do 2 really small runs of Fireheart, I don't think people are gonna be upset about that.
No, I don't either. Because it would be like 25 and 6, essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think anybody would have a cow. Will they do that though? Like, would they use the same mold twice? I don't know.
They might want the draw factor of using him another year.
Right.
Again.
Yeah. Right. Because the whole point of the horses that you get for the customs contest is it's supposed to be incentive to enter.
Right.
So if they don't use him for one thing this year, they will use him for another. Like Fireheart, Astrid, and Hawkeye and Firefly. Like, we already know that no matter what at BreyerFest this year, they will be used in some capacity.
Yep.
That's a guarantee. And then same with I really do think that Zafira is going to end up being a raffle. And if she's not a raffle, she'll end up being an auction horse. So that's 100%.
I just don't know with the shipping issues that they've had if they would have enough in time to do that,
Right.
So that's why we kind of just played it safe with the guessing.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we're going to get our 3rd Premier Club set before January 1st.
No, we won't. And I'm okay with that. I know some people are having an absolute fit over it, but what can you do? So
yeah, I'm fine with it. It's just I don't want to have multiple Premier Club accounts to be paying on at the same time.
Understandable.
So
all right, guys. Well, I think that first of all, thank you guys for actually coming up with stuff when I couldn't because I've been super busy. And I really think that we had a lot of good ideas this time. You know, like you guys really, I'm hoping that you're right is what I'm saying.
We used every last brain cell we had.
I believe it, and I'm so proud of you. And
post finals week struggle.
yeah, right after finals week. I'm so sorry. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. And if you think you have any BreyerFest predictions, drop them in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.